Hey guys, I hope you're all having a great day today because if you are the video game industry, you definitely are not, and that is because of the movement Stop Killing Games. Now, I haven't spoke about Stop Killing Games here on the channel before, so this is the perfect video for me to do so, although I think you guys already know my take on this. Obviously, I am in support of the movement. I think games being taken away from people is a very anti-consumer practice, and I think when you're going to sunset a live service game, you should keep it playable in some sort of form. But this video is going to be split into two different parts. I'm going to chapter the video so you can skip to the second chapter of the video if you want to. But the first chapter is going to be talking about Stop Killing Games, what it is, and why it's so important. And the second chapter is going to be the video game industry's response to Stop Killing Games. Stop Killing Games, we're on their website right here. Stop Killing Games is a consumer movement started to challenge the legality of publishers destroying video games they have sold to customers. An increasing number of video games are sold effectively as goods, with no stated expiration date, but designed to be completely unplayable as soon as support from the publisher ends. This practice is a form of planned obsolescence and is not only detrimental to customers, but makes preservation effectively impossible. Furthermore, the legality of this practice is largely untested in many countries. So, a perfect example of what a movement like this would stop is something like Anthem, for example. I know that game is shutting down very soon, and you're going to lose everything you bought in that game, as well as the game itself, because it is an always online game. With a movement like Stop Killing Games, they would have to basically still keep the game playable in some sort of form when they shut the game down, so you wouldn't lose all your shit you bought. I know Anthem is a shitty game, but that's not really the point. Like, yes, the game's a steaming pile of dog shit, nobody's gonna deny that.
That shit is a two-pack of ass. The fuck are you talking about? That shit stinks.
But it's more so the principle of you bought something and now it's being taken from you. Like, yeah, sure, it's Anthem in this situation, it's a shitty game, but it could have easily been a game you actually liked and cared about. Over the past year, we have successfully escalated complaints on this problem to consumer agencies in France, Germany, and Australia, and have brought forth petitions for new law on this problem to various countries. A list of the actions taken to date can be viewed here. As of 2025, most consumer action on this matter has concluded, and we are awaiting decisions on it from several governments. However, there are a few remaining avenues left where people can participate if they are eligible. So despite the fact that this is only being proposed in a few countries, that's still going to have an effect across the globe. Because if this goes through, obviously they won't be able to sell the games with these sort of practices in the countries that this goes through in. And I doubt the publishers are just going to take a huge loss in sales due to not wanting to change their practices. European Citizens Initiative, this is the most powerful option at our disposal, but it requires a massive number of signatures from citizens of EU countries in order to pass. If we can pass the signature threshold, there is a very strong chance that the European Commission will pass new law that will both protect consumer rights to retain video games that customers have purchased and advance preservation efforts massively. And they have some options that you can do to help this movement. Now, it is very important that with the first one, the petition, that you don't sign this petition if you're like American or whatever. Because if you are and you sign this, you can actually get in a bit of trouble for it. You know, the SWAT team might bust down your door and spank you on the ass. But the first option is petition to UK government. UK citizens and residents can sign a petition where, if it passes 100,000 signatures, it's now at over 1 million by the way, new law will be considered to be brought before Parliament for debate to prohibit publishers from destroying video games that customers have already paid for, and there's a button to sign it. Your second option is only if you're French, and it has to do with the crew, but you can contact the French Consumer Union with complaints about the crew. If you are French and owned a copy of the game The Crew in any capacity, please consider following our guide for submitting information that may be sent to the French Consumer Union. These remaining options unfortunately exclude citizens from other countries from participating directly, but all other options we have found are either exhausted or already underway. It is worth stating that if there is success on this issue in a major country, customers will likely benefit from the changes globally due to market forces. While it can be frustrating to be unable to act in other countries, the most effective action to take is to spread the word on these initiatives to those who are eligible to sign. If you wish to prevent video games from being destroyed so no one can ever play them again, please tell others about these initiatives. So yeah, that is Stop Killing Games. I think if you're like a regular gamer, there's no real reason to be against this unless, I don't know, you're like dented or some shit. Because whether you care or not about this sort of thing, like it is going to benefit you if it goes through. And what does the video game industry think of this, like all the publishers and shit? Of course they are not in favor of it because it makes them unable to shovel live service slop down your throat and one day cut the access so you have to move on to new AAA slop. You know the saying, man, you will own nothing and you will be happy. So I came across this article right here when it comes to the game publishers responding to Stop Killing Games. It will have a chilling effect on game design. EU group responds to Stop Killing Games. Lobbying group includes Nintendo, no shock there, Sega, and more in its membership. But we actually have a list here, it's not on the same article, but I found it somewhere else, of companies that make up this EU board that are against Stop Killing Games. We have, first of all, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. I am not shocked in the slightest to see the three big titans of the industry here, you know, front and center, going against Stop Killing Games. I'm especially not surprised to see Nintendo because they will straight up delist games off of stores, like remember when they got rid of Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze on the Wii U? Just so they could sell it back to you on the Switch at a higher price? No shock, man. Next up we have Ubisoft, to the surprise of nobody with more than 3 brain cells. Ubisoft is the same company that said we need to get comfortable with not owning our games, so of course they're going to go against a movement like this. But I couldn't be happier that this company is struggling more than ever and their games are flopping. AC Shadows didn't do as well as they needed it to. Star Wars Outlaws was a flop, and this company is getting every single bit of karma coming to them right now, and it is beautiful to watch. And once this company closes down, nothing of value will be lost. Next up we have Activision Blizzard. It is not shocking in the slightest to see these guys here as well. I don't know which pisses me off more, the state of modern Call of Duty, or the fact that Activision Blizzard hates game preservation. Next up we have EA. I mean, is anybody shocked that a company that used to get voted for America's worst company is on this list? But obviously EA is against game preservation and Stop Killing Games because if Stop Killing Games were to happen and go through, they wouldn't be able to force you to buy the new sports game every year by shutting down the old ones. Next up we have Take-Two Interactive, the company that actually started the standard of $70 video games up from $60. And it's not even like the game was good or anything, it got a 1.1 user score on Metacritic. What a pile of shit. Next up we have Bandai Namco. Now it's disappointing to see these guys here because I actually do enjoy a lot of Bandai Namco games. So I'll leave it at disappointing. Next up we have Square Enix. I didn't really expect to see these guys here and it's disappointing to see them here. That's pretty much all I gotta say about them. Next up we have Warner Bros. I'm not surprised to see these guys here. They made Soy Boy Squad and that game sucked. Next up we have Embracer Group. Now I don't know this company, but yeah, they're on the list. And the last company we have is Tencent, to the shock of nobody, I'm sure. And obviously lobby groups as well. But yeah, those are the companies known to be against Stop Killing Games, at least if this article is to be trusted. Over the last couple of weeks or so, an online consumer movement has been doing the rounds that challenges the legality of publishers destroying video games sold to customers by revoking access following the cessation of online support. Dubbed Stop Killing Games, it consists of petitions to the European Citizens Initiative and the UK government, with the former surpassing 1.2 million signatures at the time of writing. Now the European lobbying group Video Games Europe, which includes Nintendo, Sega, Microsoft, Square Enix, and more within its membership, has responded to the movement with a statement making clear that it does not support the Stop Killing Games proposal in the slightest. Here is what it had to say. Hold on to those brain cells, guys. We appreciate the passion of our community. However, the decision to discontinue online services is multifaceted, never taken lightly, and must be an option for companies when an online experience is no longer commercially viable. We understand that it can be disappointing for players, but when it does happen, the industry ensures that players are given fair notice of the prospective changes in compliance with local consumer protection laws. Yeah, this is incredibly fucking disingenuous. We're not asking for you to give us a heads up when you're gonna shut down a game. We're asking for a change in the consumer protection laws. And you say it must be an option to shut down games forever. Why? Because you say so? Why should I lose access to something I paid for because you refuse to do a simple patch? We don't expect you to support games forever. If you don't want to support a game, give the code off to a fan that can run a community server. If it's a single player game, implement a final patch allowing the game to be played offline. Hell, even Redfall did this. Next up, they say, private servers are not always a viable alternative option for players, as the protections we put in place to secure players' data, remove illegal content, and combat unsafe community content would not exist and would only leave rights holders liable. In addition, many titles are designed from the ground up to be online only. In effect, these proposals would curtail developer choice by making these video games prohibitively expensive to create. You know, I find it so funny that a group that Activision Blizzard is a part of all of a sudden cares about the community. Don't you guys have an ongoing issue right now with the Call of Duty you recently put on Game Pass where people can hack into your computer and remote control it? And isn't there a remote control exploit on Black Ops 3 that makes it unsafe to play, that has been known about for years but you guys still sell the game on Steam? Yeah, that's what I thought. This is a common excuse that companies use when it comes to this sort of shit. Oh, we're just trying to protect you. No, you're not. Nobody's falling for that. You then claim that the games would be more expensive to make, which is a flat-out lie because we're not asking you to create the games any differently. What we're asking is for you, on a final patch when you plan to stop supporting the game, to keep it alive in some sort of way. And if you don't want to do it, you can give the code off to a modder. They'll probably do it for free for you. But let's be completely honest with ourselves here. If people did find a way to make community servers for some of these older games to make them playable forever, you would probably copyright strike them, or claim that it promotes piracy or some bullshit. And why? Because you don't want people playing old games instead of your new slop. I'm gonna use Call of Duty as an example. A lot of people will play on old Call of Duty clients on like Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 1 because the new Call of Duty games are pure slop. Maybe you wouldn't have to worry about people going back to old games all the time if you created games that weren't dog shit. Believe it or not, I'd rather play a game like Black Ops 2 than Black Ops 6 with Nicki Minaj skins, Ninja Turtles, Beavis and Butthead that's also filled with cheaters. Also, that comment you made about rights holders being responsible and liable for shit, I think that's just a flat out lie, I'll be honest. We welcome the opportunity to discuss our position with policymakers and those who have led the European Citizens Initiative in the coming months. It has also released a more extensive paper providing further detail on its position. It stresses that forcing publishers to maintain online support indefinitely would have a chilling effect on game design and act as a disincentive to making such games available in Europe. The right to decide how, when, and for how long to make an online video game services available to players is vital in justifying this cost and fostering continued technical innovation. As rights holders and economic entities, video game companies must remain free to decide when an online game is no longer commercially viable and to end continued server support for that game. Imposing a legal obligation to continue server support indefinitely or to develop online video games in a specific technical manner that will allow permanent use will raise the costs and risks of developing such games. Yeah, guys, think of the billion-dollar corporations. They just can't afford to do this, man. You could literally let people host community servers or probably give the code off to a modder that will do it for you for free. This is just an excuse and you know it. It will have a chilling effect on game design and act as a disincentive to making such games available in Europe. It is far from a trivial modification or a simple addition to the game development phase. It would ignore material reputational, safety, and security concerns. Once again, you don't seem to care about those security concerns when it comes to games like Call of Duty World War II that has remote control exploits. You only all of a sudden care about it because it's convenient as an excuse. It's a complex situation, to be sure, and we should also point out that it's not Nintendo or any of the aforementioned publishers making this statement. Ross Scott, a YouTuber who started the Stop Killing Games movement, describes the arguments put forth by Video Games Europe as flimsy, and has uploaded a fresh video talking about the topic in more detail. But yeah, that's the end of that article. It's not a complex situation at all. Make our games playable and don't take them from us and shut them down forever. That's all there is to it. Anybody with an IQ above that of a literal dung beetle should be able to understand that. But I really don't have anything else to say. If you guys enjoyed this video or agree with me, leave a like. If you didn't like the video and disagree, you can leave a dislike and a mean comment. And yeah, I'm out.